Hey guys, everybody has gone back to school and fall is here. I thought it would be a fun time to do a scheduling how I plan out my schedule video. I sent a message to my sisters asking if they had time and wanted to participate to send over a little clip on how they schedule their days. I thought that would be really fun for all of you guys to see how I schedule my week out and how other moms, wives, my sisters schedule theirs out, and what may work for me won't work for you, but what might work for one of my sisters might work for you. So this will be really fun. I am using the Erin Condren planner, and how I do our scheduling is once a week, every Sunday evening, I will sit down and I will plan the week out. In order, I plan out our week first, so whether we have doctor appointments, dentist appointments, physical therapy appointments, any appointments we have, I write down. And then what we have been doing a lot lately that has been keeping our schedule full is the house. We are constantly having phone calls, meetings at the house with the builder or with tile guys or with somebody, so I will plan those type of activities out. And then I go into the videos that I want to film. So then I will plan out my week's worth of videos, and usually I have a list of videos for the month, and then I will take those and plan them for the individual week. And then after that, I plan our meals for the week. And the reason why I do our food last is because there may be a day that's really full and I know that we're not going to be home, that we might eat out, or I might make a lunch and we'll be, traveling to a meeting in Salt Lake for the house or something. And so I will plan out our food last so I can kind of see how many meals I'll really need to make for the week. For my family, what works for us, we've been doing this for 7 years, and I finally have kind of found a system that works for me, is I do not plan lunches or breakfast. Usually we have go-to meals for breakfast: cereal, oatmeal, pancakes. So we usually always have that type of stuff on hand. And lunches, we will usually always eat sandwiches, grilled cheese, quesadillas, and leftovers from dinner from the night before. So I don't really plan those out. It's just like what we have, but it's dinners that I like to plan out. So we usually plan out 4 dinners for the week, and that usually stretches really well because we will have leftovers. For instance, last week I made a beef stew, and that lasted for 3 days. And so we would eat it for dinner, and then sometimes I would make something different for lunch to break it up. So this week I looked in my pantry of items that I needed to get rid of, and I needed to get rid of some pumpkin pasta and enchilada sauce because I want to start, rotating and using what I have in the pantry. And so I went to Pinterest and my cookbook because I just have recipes that I write down that I have in my own little book. So I go to this book and I go to Pinterest, and I'm gonna make sloppy joes one night. I found a pumpkin pasta recipe that I've never made that incorporated pumpkin, so I wrote that down. I usually always make chicken enchiladas in the crock pot, but I wanted to do a little different this time, so I found a enchilada casserole recipe and then a veggie recipe dish that I found as well. So I wrote down the 4 items that I'm gonna make, and then I have a little paper pad that I always have next to my planner that I wrote down the items that I need to buy at the grocery store. And then I usually will always write down a few drinks that I want to make for the week, and 2 recipes usually of like a treat and another type of drink or something. So this week it's going to be really cold, so I wrote down a slow cooker hot chocolate. It looks really good on Pinterest. And then a pumpkin cookie. It's my favorite cookies for the fall. So I'm gonna make those this week with the kids. So I kind of have a week's worth of food scheduled in my head, and then when I go to the grocery store, I always have my go-to items that I will pick up as well. Our week does add up though, because every night Jared and I will have a to-do list for the next day that we will write down. So our days do fill up as we go throughout the week. But for the future, I do not plan very detailed. It's more like activities or things that I need to remember that I will write for the future. For instance, next month is October, a lot of community activities going on, so I wrote those down at the bottom of my calendar so I would not forget. Every April is car registration, so I always, when I get a new calendar, I write in April car registration so I do not forget. For instance, in November, we have to pay our brother for the family reunion that's coming up in the year because he paid for it, and then the families individually pay him back. So I definitely don't want to forget to do that. So there are things that I will write down and make note of for the future, but I don't like detail the future out. I usually just go week by week.
Hello you guys, I am so glad that my sister Ellie is doing a video on scheduling, because out of all of us girls, I think I'm the most unorganized. I like things to be nice and organized on the outside, but if you look on the inside of my purse, the inside of my cupboards, drawers, closets, it's a little bit of chaos. So I think I'm gonna be able to learn a little bit from this video, but I will show you how I organize. It's not the most organized, but I'll show you how I do my scheduling. On the side of my fridge, I've got this little cupboard, and on the inside of my cupboard is where I have my calendar, and I do it old school and I write it all on my calendar so you can see all the appointments that I have. It's messy, it's not pretty, it's it is what it is. And every single night after we check on the kids at night, Joel and I come up to our calendar and we look and see what we have for the next day and for the next week. We like looking at the calendar together, that way we are both on the same page with what each of us has going and what we have going on as a family. So for personal scheduling, I use the notes in my phone, and you can see I have a list of things. Oftentimes I'll go in, and if I think of something, like these are all the videos that I want to record, and oftentimes a grocery list. I don't know about everybody else, but I forget everything. So anytime I think of something, I put it in the notes of my phone, and that's basically what I live by. My calendar and my phone notes. I'm hoping that the other girls have a little bit better advice for you than I do, because for as organized and as clean as I like to keep my home, a lot of times I'm just a hot mess, and it's probably because of the way I do all of my scheduling. I should probably become a little more like, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm interested to see what the other girls have. Kids are home from school.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to be a guest on Ellie's channel. I am her sister Julie, and she asked me to film a little segment on how I plan my life, and I'm super excited about this because it's kind of new for me, what I've been doing, and I want to share it with all of you. So my friend introduced me to this planner, and I'm so excited about it because there are so many cute designs to choose from, and it has my life in here. Everything is in here in one spot. If you were like me before, I had a calendar on the fridge, I used my phone for some notes, I used my brain to remember some other items, and it was just kind of sporadic all over, but this seriously has everything in it. Okay, when you first open it up, there is a laminated page. If you want to use a marker on that page, you can just wipe it back off. It is called Life Organized, and there are tabs for every month there are. I started with August, or you can start in January. Okay, so I'm flipping to the month of October, and the first page are like kind of sticky notes, like pretend sticky notes, and how I can strengthen my relationship with my spouse, extended family, children, and God. You can just write notes on how you want to strengthen your relationship with other people. And then you've got the main calendar you can write things on, and I like to jot down like doctor appointments and whatnot there. But if you want to get more detailed, then it goes week by week, just like this. There are checklists for you. They're Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I like to get really detailed of how my days go. One of my favorite things about this planner as well is you can have a meal plan within the planner. You can have week 1, week 2, week 3, and then the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can plan out all your meals and your grocery list for each week. Under every month's tab, there is also a budget planner. I like to use this. You can write down your planned expenses and then what you actually spent, and then of course the difference at the bottom. And so this helps me keep track of my income and my expenses, and I love that all of it is in one binder. For the month of December, they have Christmas lists. Even in November, there's like Thanksgiving list, Christmas planning. Oh my goodness, this seriously has everything in it. And there's even a little, I have my battery remote so I remember what battery to get, but there's a little clear plastic folder there, a little envelope folder here, and much more. There are blank pages in here. I like having things handwritten down, and this has everything in it: meal planning, budget, planning, my schedule, shopping list. It has everything in it and I love it. This is my life. This is how I plan things. I like everything handwritten. Ellie, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your channel and to share with you all what I like to do. And thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Hi, I'm Emily Mecham. I'm so excited that Ellie asked me to join her on this. I am Ellie's sister-in-law. I have 3 crazy boys, ages 7, 5, and 4 months. And life gets a bit crazy. So my scheduling is a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about 2 things: how I plan out my days and how I plan out my dinners. Typically, I use my phone if I have like an event. Usually it's on Facebook that they've posted it, and so I'll get a reminder from that. But I also like to use a daily planner because that helps me lay out my month and see how everything's gonna go. So for instance, last week I had an ice cream social event for the boys. I signed up to bring a topping. If my phone is reminding me that the event is happening, nothing's reminding me to get a topping. So I'll go on my calendar and I'll figure out what's the best day to go and make sure I get the topping and go grocery shopping, things like that. So I like to use my phone and I like to use my daily planner just to see how things roll out. How I plan out my meals is a little bit different because I like to have a lot of flexibility in what I make. If I'm not feeling super energetic in the evening, then I don't want to make like a lasagna. And if I'm feeling really excited about something, then I want to be able to have that flexibility to make what I want to make. So typically what I do is I go to the grocery store and I find what's on sale, and then I'll kind of have meals in mind, but I plan out the protein that I'm going to have. So Monday I would do chicken, and then Tuesday might be a vegetarian night where we do spaghetti with meatless sauce. So it leaves a lot more room for flexibility. I found that when I wrote down what I was going to make that day, I had a hard time following it because maybe someday I just didn't feel like making something, or something else sounded better. So I really like planning it out this way because it allows for the flexibility that I need. Thank you, Ellie, for asking me to join you on this.
Hey you guys, this is so fun to be on Ellie's channel today. I'm gonna share with you how I do my weekly planning. I am a busy mom of 6 children and I am always on the go. My secret to keeping my head on straight is color-coded pens. I love these pens. These pens are paper mate and they come in tons and tons of different colors. Right now it's Sunday afternoon and I always do my weekly planning on Sunday afternoon. I sit down with my calendar and I write out everything that I need to do for the week. I don't take my calendar everywhere with me, but I do always have my phone. So when a teacher tells me that I need to come early to next week's lesson, or if a soccer coach tells us, hey, you need to be here 20 minutes early because of soccer pictures, then I will put it in my phone because the phone is with me. I come home and I put it on my calendar. I like this calendar because it's only 1 week at a time. If I was to look at the full month, I would be completely overwhelmed. This calendar allows me a lot of space on one single day to write what needs to happen on that day. I like color coding each child. So at a glance, I can see who is really busy that day and who is not going to be able to afford to go play at a friend's house. So for example, Julie is purple. I'm going to write out when she has flute lessons, when she has soccer or basketball. I also like writing in a certain space in that day's box. So if it happens in the morning, I'm gonna write it clear up at the top of the box. And if it happens closer to the evening, I'm gonna write it down at the bottom. That way I have a visual of the breakup of my day. My last tip for scheduling our calendars is to remember what we have been given time for. Don't overschedule your family. There are 56 Saturdays in 1 year. And to give you a visual, this is 100 marbles. So you could fit 4 years worth of Saturdays in this mason jar. So every time I schedule something on a Saturday, I ask, is that worth one of these marbles? Because I don't get that marble back with my children. So every time I schedule a Saturday, I want to make sure it is worth my time spent. Thanks, you guys. Happy scheduling.
This was so fun to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have a way that you like to plan, write it down below. I'll be anxiously awaiting to read all of you guys' comments. Thank you for my sisters for participating in this video with me. I'll make sure to have their channels linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy planning. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.